Hi guys and gals, Lynn Thompson here. As you've probably heard, I've sold cold steel to GSM. They paid me a very fair price for it, and I'm just delighted to work with them. I want you to know that I'm going to continue with GSM far into the future, working on all kinds of new projects that I think you're going to love. One of the reasons I chose GSM is they have committed to carry on my legacy and maintain the high quality and high performance and our knives that you've come to expect and to love. They're not going to wreck the brand. They're not going to dilute the brand. They're going to keep that brand strong like you love it. And I really appreciate that about them. The other reason that I picked them is they have the resources, the financial resources to take cold steel to heights that it would probably take me another lifetime to achieve. They can keep the knives in stock. They can develop new projects that would be hard for me to do. They have the technical knowledge that I don't have. So all of this, I believe, is going to be a good thing for everyone that loves cold steel. I also want you to know that Big Brain Andrew Demko and I aren't going anywhere. We haven't hung up our gloves. We haven't put our swords on the wall. We haven't put our knives back in the sheath, and we haven't locked our guns in the safe. We're still going to be going forward into the future, working away like we always have. I'll still be training with Ron Blicky and all my other trainers, and you're still going to be developing all kinds of new stuff for you to love in the future. So you can relax about that. I also want to take this opportunity to thank you. Andrew and I both do, but in particular, I want to thank you. Thank you for your patronage and your support over these many years. In particular, I want to thank you for your patience with me when I stumbled and when I fell, when I gave offense. Please forgive me for anything that I've done or said that has offended anyone. And I want to assure you that Andrew and I are going to do our very best to keep this brand going alive and vibrant, and that we really appreciate your support and your continued patronage of Cold Steel as we partner with GSM to develop an even brighter new future.
Good morning, welcome back to the channel, guys. Welcome back to Three River Blades. Okay, so if you haven't already watched that video, and I know everybody has their own feelings on it, Cold Steel Knives has been sold by Lynn Thompson to GSM Outdoors. Now GSM, if you haven't really figured it out, GSM is a umbrella corporation that has multiple brands inside their organization. So they're an outdoors company, so they sell trail cams, they sell hunting supplies, camping supplies, and of course it makes sense to have knives or knife supplies inside their company, inside their corporation. What you might not have known also is that it's also held by an investment company, which makes things a little bit more difficult, because investors, people that have money and people that want to invest and make money on top of their money, big business owners, will do anything for the bottom line. Okay, so shareholders need to know, if I give you $100,000 today, by next year I want to make 120, 130, 140. I need my return on investment. Okay, so that's who really owns GSM, is the high business end people. What does that mean for Cold Steel? Now, if you watch the video like I did and have your own opinions of it, you understand that Lynn Thompson and Andrew Demko are supposed to stay there and help. Okay, so I don't know exactly what that means. They are going to do a large, keep doing new product lines, etc. But understand that Lynn Thompson is no longer the president. And as you can see, that he was handed a check. Okay, whatever that check is, let's say it's $50 million. Understand, at the end of the day, Lynn Thompson, Andrew Demko, and everybody that works in that upper office is a business person, is someone that is The reason they built their product, the reason that they're millionaires, the reason they're so successful at doing what they're doing is because they are true to heart businessmen. It doesn't mean they don't give a crap about their customers, but that's the last thing on their mind is you and I, people that have collected over the years, okay? Lynn Thompson Cold Steel knives have never or are not made in the US, okay? The reason is because he can make cheaper, and I don't mean cheaper as far as product, but he can make cheaper products in large volumes overseas, whereas in America it's harder to do. And you would probably look at a company like maybe Tops or Spyderco, whereas they make all their products in-house and they make batches of stuff, okay? Once it runs out, they make a new batch. That's kind of the way it is. Well, if you look at the catalog of Cold Steel, it is huge, huge. Cold Steel has everything from battle axes to pocket knives to spears to bow and arrows to arrowheads. So all that kind of stuff, the way he geared his company was to be outward and to keep building and keep building and keep building. And as you can see, I myself have been quite a collector as well. Now, I have nothing against Lynn Thompson. I think that a lot of people are very upset or very hurt about the fact that he sold the company. But again, it's just a business. You got to understand that. And yes, he built the brand. And yes, he is Cold Steel. So if Lynn Thompson walked up to you today, you're going to shake his hand as a knife maker and say, hey, thank you for everything. You really inspired me. You make great stuff, etc., etc. Some people have a negative undertone, or maybe they didn't like one of his products. But the guy in general, I heard, was a gentleman. Anybody that's ever met him, he would sit there, he would talk to a person, he wouldn't shun them, and be a total gentleman, and he has an actual passion for cutlery. You see him go to Africa and do all these crazy things where he's hunting buffalo with a freaking spear, maniac, right? But he's a good salesman, and that's what good salesmen do, is they sell you their products, and that was his job for over 30 years. Now, if you look at some of the knives on this table, I started collecting Cold Steel knives from the beginning. See if you can recognize what movie this push dagger was from, okay? That's going to tell you how old I am, all right? If you haven't guessed, it's from the movie Platoon, okay, where they're in the bunker and Barnes gets into a fight with Charlie Sheen's character, okay? That's what this is. Now, come forward 2020 or 2019, he's still making push daggers. This one is just one-sided. Probably a little better material as far as the sheath goes, but he's still making it, all right? Where are you going to be able to buy a Warhammer? Okay? The best thing about Cold Steel knives is that they were not afraid to push the envelope into cutlery that was beyond the regular American style, which is what I liked. Got a Bushman right there. I have one of, I can't get this in now, but I have, this is my original Trailmaster when it first came out. Now this is a number 2, and you could tell on the back they stamp it number 2. It was on sale at the time. I think this was early 90s. What I have done is I kind of beveled the edges a little bit and I made it a convex grind. I went out and I purchased another one. Now this is a while ago because you can't even get these anymore, okay? Or you can get them, but they're very hard. And I think that was one of the problems that Lynn Thompson was talking about in his video, was the fact that his inventory was very difficult to keep up with. Okay, so his inventory was so big that it was kind of like, all right, everybody wants to buy one of these, but you can't buy them because they're not available. So he's thinking that GSM will have that capability. He's thinking that, or at least in that video, he's talking about it. Okay, now Lynn Thompson's got to be about 50-something years old right now, and if a company or a business opportunity came around for myself and said, hey, you know what? I want to buy your company for $50 million. I would probably say, okay, sign the check. All right. So you got to kind of take that with a grain of salt, but understand the fact that in business, if you want to keep doing it and you want to hand it down to somebody, that's great. But there's a lot of work that's involved. And if somebody gives you an early retirement present, sometimes you have to take it, or sometimes you should take it. Now, I don't agree that if it hurts your employees that you should do it, but again, it's business, right? So it's SRK. So this is what's on my battle kit. I just painted it. And I'm just showing you some of the knives that I have from Cold Steel. I've been collecting and using Cold Steel knives for a long time, but again, I hope these products stay in place where they're supposed to. Now, I don't think, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, I do not believe that in any situation where Cold Steel, check this out, this is one of the originals. This is one of the originals, SRK. I found this one on eBay, alright? Carbon V steel, made in the USA, comes with a leather sheath. How cool is that? I don't believe that the quality of Cold Steel knives will stay. And honestly, let me put it to you this way. Cold Steel knives are made, again, overseas because of the costs and because you can produce a lot of them, alright? I don't think the quality is going to stay as far as GSM's concerned. I think what they're going to do is they're going to take all the good steel, or all the large volume of knives and catalog and kind of reduce it. I hope he doesn't. I hope that's not what happens. It might happen. I think that the quality of some of the steels that are on this table will worsen. You know, S30V and 154 and some of the good or better steels, I hope that they stay. I don't think they will. Usually, typically, when knife companies get bought out, they usually revert to a cheaper style because, again, it's all about the shareholders. That's all it's about. It's all about the shareholders. So I don't know what's going to happen. I do wish Lynn Thompson a very, I say retirement because I think he is going to retire. I think that's the better way to go. If he sticks around, that's great. Then we'll have some really cool designs. But again, he's not in charge anymore. That's the thing that you got to understand. So if he goes to, you know, some of the manufacturing guys and be like, hey, listen, I want to make this, and they tell him to go scratch his ass, well, guess what? He's got to go scratch his ass. He's no longer in charge. You sold the company, you took the money, and that's it. Right? So I have, and also I know some people already know about this, but the lifetime warranty, he said nothing's going to change. It already started. The warranty has already changed. It used to be a lifetime warranty. It is no longer a lifetime warranty. Now it's a I think 1 year warranty on the product. Most of the knives that you're seeing here are made in AUS 8, AUS 10, which is a Japanese type of steel. It's not terrible, but depending on what you're trying to do with the knife, if it goes any cheaper than that, I don't think it'll be a good product anymore. And again, depending on what you're using it for. I'm not going to take a Natchez Bowie or a Laredo Bowie and smash it into wood. Okay, that's just not what I'm going to do with it. It's a fighting knife, right? But there are other choppers and other. Let's see if you can see this. You remember this one? Cold Steel Katana. How cool is this, right? Everybody wanted to be a ninja with this Cold Steel Katana, right? So that's really my concern, is that the steel quality or the production, not the production, but the steel quality will diminish. I think that eventually, if he hasn't already done so, he will probably just be like, all right, I'm out of here, I'm leaving, and that'll be the end of Cold Steel. Now, they already changed the logo. If you haven't already seen it, they already changed the logo. And they already did one of, I guess one of the new GSM guys already got on there and said, hey, listen, you know, we want to know what you want us to bring back, blah, 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 blah. They did it on YouTube. And everybody says they want the Tala War back, etc. Okay? Again, it's business. I don't take it personal. I think it's in Lynn Thompson's eyes, according to that video, it was more about getting product out and making the brand larger and bigger and faster. So there'll be more products in place. Lynn Thompson will be there to supersede it or to see over it to make sure that things are going well, along with Andrew Demko. And I think it's a good idea, but I don't think it ultimately will happen. Look at Schrade. If you don't know, nobody even knows who owns Schrade anymore. Schrade did the same thing. They sold out and got resold and then got resold. It's not like Tops Knives where they make everything in-house, or Spyderco where they make everything in-house and it's owned by one person or two people, etc. It's not that. So we don't know what's going to happen with Cold Steel. This is the extent of my collection. I think that I'm probably not going to buy any more Cold Steel products until I see what happens to them. If you happen to save the box or have the box, I highly recommend that you hold on to it. It's my little Recon one. I like Recons. I'm a big fan of Recon. One of the first knives that I ever purchased from Cold Steel was the Recon 1 in spear point. This is an AUS 8 and it has a G10 grippiness to it that I really like. I've been everywhere with this knife. I replaced this clip many a times. It's never been a problem for me to call Cold Steel up and be like, hey, listen, this clip busted off again. Could you send me another one? No problem, sir. I don't know if that's going to happen anymore. This has been a great knife to me. This is kind of the pinnacle of where I got my start in Cold Steel knives, and as you can see, it kind of grew from there. I also have the Dragon series. I have the Tanto, the Katana, all the way up. I have all three of them. All right, I didn't break them out of the box because I wanted a knife or swords that were more showpieces. So I didn't want to spend thousands of dollars on Japanese swords, but I bought the Cold Steel ones because they look cool and I know they're functional. So that's pretty much it, guys. That's my 2 cents in. Like I said, I want to wish Cold Steel all the best. I really hope the rumors of them laying off people at Cold Steel's shops was a lie. You can't trust anything on the internet. You don't have to trust my opinion. Do your own research, that kind of thing. But for me, for now, I think I'm going to hold off on purchasing any more Cold Steel products until I see what happens. I don't know about GSM. I do wish Lynn Thompson and his family and Andrew Demko very Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all that stuff. Congratulations on your retirement. I'm saying it's a retirement package, but it probably isn't, but that's just my opinion. So Three River Blades is not going anywhere anytime soon. We're not selling out, so unless you have $50 million and you want to sell out, then we'll talk about that. So if you're listening, thank you very much, guys. Please go to threeriverblades.com. Check out all the great stuff I have up there. All the knives I made are fixed blade knives, made for outdoors, military, tactical, that kind of thing. I also have a Patreon account, social media, all that good stuff. So as always, guys, thank you very much and stay safe.